What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Words to My Face. This is Words to My Face Sports. Yes. And we are going to be giving you, or I shouldn't say we, it's really an I. I am going to be giving you a NBA Finals rundown. So it's that time of the year again, and it has taken forever to get there, but we're finally here. We've reached the end of the NBA road. Well, the final stretch of the NBA road. We are going to have a pretty good matchup this year with the Golden State Warriors locking horns with the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. So I'm excited to see a couple things. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown, tell you what to look for, who are some of the key matchups, a little bit of what's been going on so far this season. But let's jump right into it and let's start it off. So just a little bit about both these teams. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers have never won an NBA championship, so if they do win this one, it'll be their first. I'm trying to think of any professional Cleveland team that's won a championship, and I don't think they have since like 1949, and that was like an AFL game or something, like an AFL championship. So it's been quite it might be 1960, but it's been quite a while since any Cleveland team has hoisted any type of trophy. So yeah, you're probably gonna have some bandwagon people just rooting for them just because. But then you look at Golden State, and it's not like they've done much better. They haven't won a title. Now they have won a title. That's nice for them, but they haven't won a title since 1975. So that'll be an interesting thing to see. These two teams. Now, they did play twice this year. Every team plays every team at least twice. And the first season, the season series, was actually tied 1-1. The first game of the season, which was on January 9th, and you might remember this date for the Cavaliers because they just completed a couple trades. They just brought over Moskov. I believe they just got Ian Shumpert. So they were a team, or no, I'm sorry, J.R. Smith. That was J.R. Smith's first game of the season. So they were a team in transition. Trying to find their identity. They hadn't quite lived up to expectations at that point of the year, but they were starting to get themselves on the right path. But Golden State won that game 112-94. Yeah, pretty big win there for Golden State. That's 18 points. So that was a big game. Golden State had it rolling all year round. They didn't have a slump anywhere in the season. But then the second game, you had Cleveland beating Golden State 110-99. So they came back with a pretty decent win, and that was on February 26th. So none of these games were really close, as in they hadn't happened recently. Both these teams are different teams than what they were at those points in the season. But right now we're seeing which team is going to come out and which team has that championship makeup. So let's run over some of the key matchups to look forward to this series. The first key matchup is Stephen Curry, the reigning MVP, against Kyrie Irving. Now, Stephen Curry, like I said, he's the reigning MVP. He is a great scorer, and he has shown that he can be very, very clutch for this team all throughout the playoffs. Now, he did have a couple slumps here and there. If you remember, right after he was named MVP, he had kind of a slump there against Memphis and didn't look so good for them for a second there. But then he turned it back on, and he really moved his way forward. So I really see Curry having the advantage in this matchup because Curry actually can play a little bit of defense. Whereas Kyrie Irving, he is a very prolific scorer when he's healthy. Number one, he is not healthy right now. He is hobbled. He has got two injuries, both a leg injury, like a knee and an ankle or something like that. So look for him to be not 100%. And he even came out and said that he would not be 100% for the series unless something miraculous happened. And I don't see any angels coming down to help him out. Now, this is not Angels in the Outfield like that movie, where the little kid wished for God to help the Angels win the pennant. And and they're called the Cavaliers. They're not even called the Angels. So it just wouldn't work for them. They would have to be called the Angels for this to work. You know what? Every team that sucks should just change the name to the Angels. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get a movie made about you. But that's off track right there. So, like I said, Irving is a very prolific scorer, and he can really do some damage in this series. But he's not going to be 100%. And if he's not 100%, they're going to be missing a key piece there. With Kevin Love out, I believe he just had surgery on his dislocated/torn tendons left from right elbow. They really don't have much else to rely on. Now, you do have players like Mozgov. He's a very good defensive player, but doesn't give you much on the offensive end. You have Shumpert. No, not a Shumpert. I'm sorry. But Tristan Thompson, pretty good offensive rebounder. Doesn't give you much on the defensive end. So you really need all of the best players to come out and shine. And J.R. Smith, a guy who can drop threes like crazy, he can have a night like Curry can have, but he's not as consistent as Curry. So I don't expect to see him have a Curry night. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup to watch. If Irving somehow is healthy enough to really play defense, which he's not really known for anyway, maybe slowing down Curry, it could help their team, but it's really Curry's going to win this matchup. The next key matchup I want to look at is the LeBron James, and now this is not just a 1-versus-1, but it's going to be a 1-versus-3 because he is the best player in the game. Let's not get it wrong. Even though he didn't win the MVP this year, he's still the best player in the NBA, in the world. Really, don't even get it twisted. He's the best player in the world. So it's going to take a team effort for Golden State to slow him down. And notice I said slow him down, not stop him. You don't stop LeBron James. It just doesn't happen. Now, for Golden State, this is actually not the worst scenario in the world because they played the best team defense in the league this year. And so that adds to it. But it's going to be LeBron James versus a combination of Draymond Green, Kevin Barnes, and Andre Iguodala. They are going to be rotating these guys on them, on and off him, all the games. He's going to really... when they want to put some more speed on them, they'll put one of the smaller guys. When they want to put some more muscle on them, they'll put one of the bigger guys. And again, I don't see any of these guys stopping him, but slowing him down could happen. Now, I really see more Draymond Green on LeBron James than anybody else. If you looked at his season this year, I believe he was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year, and that's because this kid can move. He's got good lateral movement. He's got really good footwork, and he doesn't mind putting a body on somebody. He is I believe his natural position is more the power forward than the small forward, but I mean, LeBron James is 6'8". He's like a power forward himself. It's not really fair. So you'll see those guys, and then if one of them get tired, you'll see Barnes rotate in or Iguodala rotate on him. So we'll see what happens there. But really, that matchup, again, you can slow him down, but you can't stop him. He's the unstoppable force, and there is no immovable object on the Golden State Warriors. So look for James to win that. So where are we at with the key matchups? We're at 1-1. So let's go to the X factors. Now, the X factor for Golden State, now you might say, what are you talking about? This is not an X factor. I'm going to say it's Klay Thompson. He has been consistent all year. He is a great player. He's a very good backup. He is a good second fiddle to Curry as the superstar of this team. But if you watched any of that Rocket series, you saw that horrific concussion he took. I mean, he took a knee to the face like I've never seen somebody take a knee to the face. And as of right now, Monday evening, he has not been cleared to play. So this is going to be big. If he can play and he's healthy, then they have a really big X factor on their team, a guy that can really put them over the top and really take this team to the next level. He's kind of the Scottie Pippen to Jordan, and I'm not trying to say Curry's as good as Jordan. Come on, all right, I'm just trying to give an analogy. That's all I'm saying. And he can really help them take it to the next level. He can take some of the pressure for scoring off of Curry, and he's very good at moving the ball, and he's really good. He fits in there with that team defense, so look for him if he is healthy. And the Golden State Warriors do expect him to play. Even though he did not pass concussion protocols today, he is still expected to play on Thursday. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he will, just because I think that will make this a way more exciting series. But only time will tell. Concussions are a really, really difficult thing. Nobody knows quite how long some of these symptoms can last. I've heard of players, especially a baseball player, Brian Roberts, was out a whole year with concussions. You had football players like Clinton Portis was out like 8 weeks and eventually retired because of concussions. And then you have players that just, get the concussion. 3 days later, they're good to go. So it's a time will tell type situation here. So that's the X factor for Golden State Warriors. Now, the X factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to be J.R. Smith. Like I said before, he can drop threes almost as good as Curry, but he's not as consistent as Curry is. He might have a game here and there where he's really, really good, but then he'll have a couple games in between there where he's not so good at all. If he can somehow find some sort of consistency to his game, that would definitely help LeBron James really rev things up, because if they have to worry about somebody else on offense except for LeBron James, that really changes the dynamic of that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Granted, like I said, Golden State does have one of the best team defenses. So it's not going to be that they're going to totally shut them down. But if J.R. Smith can, put in a couple more baskets, maybe average somewhere between like 15 to 18 points a game, then, nothing crazy. He can do it. He's got the talent to do it. If he can do something like that, then we're looking at a pretty darn good series. Now, LeBron James being on one side, I don't see this being a sweep or even close to a sweep. I'd be surprised if it didn't at least go 6, probably 7 games. So I'm still leaning towards Golden State. I just think they have a better overall team. They have better overall team defense, and they're a little bit healthier, especially if Klay Thompson can get in there. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hit me up, comments down below. Who do you think is going to come out of the NBA Finals on top? What do you think this record's going to be? I'm going to go ahead and say 7 games. Golden State wins it. What do you think? Hit me up. Let me know. And I'll see you next.